morning, interest rates return to its upward trajectory for the first time in a month as government's ambitious T-bills target falls short by 30.27%. Also, Governor of Bank of Ghana insists losses made by the central bank was a risk it took to save the economy from collapsing in 2022. And also, Absa Bank Ghana was most profitable bank in Ghana in the third quarter of this year. We have more from third quarter PwC report on the banking industry. I am Amisi Nyamichet Thompson. Please settle down for details. In our first story, interest rates returned to its upward trajectory for the first time in a month as the government continued to borrow heavily on the money market to finance its expenditure. According to auction results by the Bank of Ghana, the government accepted all the bids for the treasury bills to the tune of 3.917 billion cedis. There's more in this report.
Interest rates rose again after going down 3 times consecutively. While the 91-day T-bill went up marginally to 29.56% from the previous weeks of 29.49%, that of the 182-day bill also set to 31.76% from the preceding weeks of 31.74%. The one-year bill also increased to 33.44% from the earlier 33.23%. Meanwhile, the government ambitious target of 5.618 billion cedis fell short by 30.27%. For the second time in a year, the 364-day bill was highly patronized. About 1.854 billion cedis worth of bids were tendered, which the government accepted all. It was also followed by the 91-day T-bill, in which 1.33 billion cedis were accepted. The 182-day bill witnessed a subscription of 722.99 million cedis. The treasury market is presently the only source of financing for the government, as the bond and external debt markets have been shut down for now. This is due to the debt restructuring the government is undertaking.
And there was a business desk report. Now, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, has insisted that the economy would have faced dire consequences if the central bank had not stepped in 2022 to support government's expenditure. This, he stressed, resulted in the bank making losses of about 60 billion cedis. The minority group in parliament had demanded the resignation of the governor after they demonstrated against him. Speaking at the Governor's Day annual bankers dinner organized by the Chartered Institute of Bankers, Dr. Addison said the central bank had no option but to step in to save the economy from collapsing last year.
The Bank of Ghana had to step in as a loss absorber with a punitive treatment of 50% haircut than initially designed, leading to a large loss to the bank and driving it into negative equity at the end of 2022. This is not to justify the losses, but to indicate that the policy choices made during those difficult times were for the greater good of the economy. The bank has commenced corrective actions to deal with the after effects of the losses and remains committed to the highest standards of sound management, transparent accounting, and good governance practices.
You heard Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. Now, finance lecturer at the Kemper Business School, Professor Lord Mensah, has expressed worry the delay by China in reaching an agreement with Ghana on the debt restructuring could have serious implications on the exchange rate. He therefore wants government to act swiftly to avert the looming disaster. Speaking to Joy Business, Professor Mensah said the delay sends a bad signal to the investor community.
Yes, I am, of course. Ghana is desperately in need of, the 600 million inflows. And if we don't get it, the consequence on our exchange rate, on our economy in general, could be dire. And as a result of that, we all pray that we can get, the buying of China for the restructuring to go on so that those monies that have been earmarked. The longer this inflow stays and the more we keep on, postponing the restructuring period, the more uncertainty we prolong on our economy. And as a result of that, it doesn't augur well for, the investor community, not at all.
He had finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School and also a visiting professor at Kemper Business School, Professor Lord Mensah. Agric workers are warning that the plans to restrict the importation of some items may result in a significant increase in the prices of foodstuff. Now, government is seeking Parliament's approval to restrict importation of these or some 21 items to help reduce the country's import bill and grow the local industry. But these workers are also worried the development could result in some artificial food shortages on the market. Edward Karawa is the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union.
When you are putting in place measures on the back of government-owned policies which have undermined production, then you create a very difficult situation in the economy. For instance, the discounted benchmark value policy, which was implemented by government since 2019. Now, for all these years, it has undermined domestic production. So a year after you have used a policy to undermine domestic production, weaken capacity of domestic industries to produce, you quickly then come back and say, look, I am going to do what? Restrict imports. When you do that, the likelihood of prices going up is very high because you have not actually nurtured, supported the domestic producers to increase their capacity to be able to meet the shortfall that the imports will bring.
Now, Absa Bank Ghana was the most profitable bank in Ghana in the third quarter of this year. That's according to accounting and auditing firm PwC's quarterly analysis of the banking industry. According to the report, Guaranty Trust Bank was the most efficient in terms of cost-to-income ratio. Here's more.
This is coming on the back of the domestic debt exchange program. Absa Bank Ghana recorded a year-on-year profit of 103.5% to 1.506 billion cedis in the first 9 months of 2023. It was followed by Stanbic Bank Ghana with 84.1% growth in year-on-year profit to 1.18 billion cedis. Guaranty Trust Bank came third with 57.7% growth in profit to 847.5 million cedis. The least profitable bank was First National Bank with 103% decline in profit to about 400,000 cedis. However, all the banks registered profits in the first 9 months of this year. For efficiency, GT Bank was first, and it was followed by UBA and Absa Bank Ghana. The lowest ranked efficient bank was Consolidated Bank Ghana. In terms of market share, EcoBank remained the biggest bank in Ghana, controlling the share of deposits with 13.1% as of September 2023.
And that was a Business Desk report. Now, with a vision of becoming a top-tier capital market in Africa, the Securities and Exchange Commission has launched its 5-year strategic plan with 5 goals and 60 initiatives to help transform and build a vibrant capital market. Speaking at the Ghana Capital Market Conference, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta said it's imperative to leverage the current positive macroeconomic trajectory to achieve a more vibrant and resilient market.
Our overarching ambition is to foster a robust macroeconomic environment and establish the securities industry as a cornerstone for Ghana's progress towards the Ghana we want, the Ghana beyond aid. Against these policy objectives, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the SEC, the Capital Market Master Plan, and the Commission's 5-year strategic plan holds significant historical importance.
He had Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Now, Omitel Global Limited has opened the first ever Motorola shop in Ghana to provide customers with new phones made by the brand. According to its managing director, Andrew Nanakufo, his outfit aims to provide customers with quality phones that come with great new features. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of its new smartphones.
They have been in this business for a long time. They produce some of the best smartphones you can find, but it's been non-existent in Ghana for a while. But Motorola is back in Ghana, and we are here for good. Motorola has a very good battery lifespan. The smartphones that we have introduced, when you charge once, you can use it for 2 days. Very good batteries. And the other thing is that it's a quality phone.
And now to the stock market. The share price of EcoBank Ghana is expected to decline on the Ghana Stock Exchange this week. Let's now hear from Grace Monayom on how your investments will fare this week.
Interest rates rose again after going down 3 times consecutively.
Last week's trading closed with 3 price movers of a gainer and 2 laggards. New Gold was the sole price gainer for the week, while Standard Chartered Bank and Gold PLC both declined. The declines drove the market indices lower, with the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index closing 0.80% weaker to a year-to-date gain of 29.71%, while the Data Bank Stock Index decreased 1.